Welcome to your morning yin practice with Hapa Yoga. This class will be led by TK. Together we'll set an intention to slow down. As life moves on quickly, take some time just for yourself. Within this practice, we will hold poses for about 3 to 5 minutes. And now let's begin. We'll start our practice today seated in Sukhasana, grabbing a cushion or a blanket. Let's place it underneath your sits bones. On your seat with your ankles crossed easily in front, feel free to take some blocks and place them underneath your thighs for some added support. Palms unite and thumbs at heart space. Let's set an intention for our practice today. With patience and with ease, we'll allow our bodies to release. Shoulders relaxed away from the ears. Take a deep breath in, lifting up through the spine, then reach arms overhead, extending the arms. And on your exhalation, slowly twist to the right side, grounding the shoulders towards the hips, staying here with breath, with time. Broaden the chest by turning the shoulders outwards. And now take a deep inhalation in, lifting arms, and exhale, cactus the arms, getting a nice openness in the chest. Inhale, lengthen the arms once again, and exhale, twist to your opposite side. Shoulders ground and hug them softly back, keeping the crown aligned over the tail, holding for a few more rounds of breath. And now inhale, lengthen arms up overhead, placing hands together to touch, and exhale, thumbs back to heart space. Take a full inhalation in through the nose, and exhale, releasing fingertips by hips so we could do a few neck rolls. As you stay connected to your breath, roll the chin through heart space, bringing right ear closer to shoulder, and move on to opposite side. Staying connected to the breath, do a few more neck rolls at your own pace. Feel free to slow down or speed up. And now bring left ear to left shoulder, lifting right arm away from the floor. Begin to circle out the right wrist. Keep the left shoulder drawing down towards the left hip. And breathe in as you circle the wrist, option to make a fist. And slowly release right hand down, lift the gaze, and draw right ear towards right shoulder. Let's inhale and lift the left arm, circling now the left wrist. Option to bring fingertips in to make a fist. And notice the sensations that you feel along the wrist, the palm, the shoulder. And make any organic movements that your body is calling for. Slowly return the left fingertips to the earth and lift the gaze. Create a few shoulder rolls, and then we'll slowly draw the blocks away from the outsides of the hips, placing them off of the mat, and then extend the legs over your bolster for our first pose today, caterpillar pose. Draping the legs about hips distance or so, ensuring that the back of the hamstring and the calf are fully supported. Then slide your arms down the shin bones so that the chest can come closer to the earth. To support the neck, place a block or two underneath third eye space. As you settle into caterpillar's pose, take a deep breath in through the nose. Fill up the body with breath. And open the mouth to exhale. Let your body soften into this pose and feel the sensation in the back of the hips. Notice the spine release. Notice the stress begin to fold away. Keep the eyes closed and continue to soften in with breath. Remaining in this pose for a few minutes or so. Allow the hamstrings to open. Allow the body to gently compress. At any time, if you wish to deepen into your caterpillar pose, you can flatten the block supporting third eye or remove it completely. Continue to remain in stillness in this pose. With a few more rounds of breath, we'll prepare to transition out of this pose. On your inhalation, slowly begin to rise, placing block to the side and slipping the bolster to the side. Moving into a deeper variation of caterpillar pose, this time reaching for 1 to 2 blocks, placing them underneath the third eye in between the ankles. Let all of the body weight begin to rest and give it to Mother Earth. Continue to breathe between the shoulder blades and feel the deeper sensation in the hamstrings and the low spine. The blocks or props to the side of your mat now. Transitioning to our next pose, butterfly. Feel free to remain on your cushion or blankets, or you can slip them from underneath the hips. Moving a couple of blocks or bolster to the insides of the feet, allowing the forehead to rest down. If you happen to need more space for the hips, using a taller bolster can help. I like to place the bolster in the arches of my feet and the top of the bolster towards the forehead. Bear hug the bolster to keep it in place. As you settle into the pose, take a deep inhalation in through the nose to fill up and send the breath out the mouth. Try to remain still, but in case you need any other variations of the pose, try making adjustments by either flattening the bolster and resting chin in palms, or flattening the body into full butterfly. Calm the shoulders and stay connected into the breath. Gently place any props to the side and shake out the knees. You can take windshield wiper legs or windshield wiper knees, whatever feels nice in your body to release and to let go. Slowly bring the feet around either side as we move our bodies now into tabletop position. Aligning knees underneath hips and wrists underneath the shoulders. Let's stretch the belly in a cow pose. And exhale, pushing into the palms for cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Feel free to rock a little side to side or bend the elbows, finding any organic transitions and adjustments you need in your cow and cat. Explore walking hands to one corner of the mat and drawing the hips in the opposite back corner and switching, allowing the sides of the ribs to open. Then walking back up to the knees for broken toe pose. Feel free to bring a blanket underneath the knees for extra padding, and we'll tuck the toes under. If this is too intense for the knees, take a rolled up towel or bolster and place it behind the knees. Allow your body to rest comfortably onto the heels, and now connect to long breaths in the nose and deep breath out the mouth. If this pose becomes too intense, please feel free to move out of the pose. If this pose becomes too intense, you can also distract yourself with a shoulder bind. Turning shoulder heads outwards, open up the chest. Take a deep breath through the nose and breathe out the mouth. Gently release the bind and we'll step out of the pose. Moving back into tabletop. Let's kick out the feet, gently tapping the tops of the feet to the ground. Maybe add a windshield wiper knees, or step back into high plank, or step this into down dog. From down dog, pedal out the knees one at a time, feeling the sensation as you straighten one leg at a time, or explore swaying dog's tail side to side, getting a gentle stretch into the sides of the hips. Moving into dragon's pose. Let's inhale and lift the left leg, step it forwards, and as you ground the right knee down, place a rolled up blanket or soft padding underneath the knee for support. And if you need extra props for the wrists, the forearms, or the chest to lie upon, you can take 2 blocks as so, and then take the bolster over the tops of the blocks, creating a nice supporting bench. You can rest chin into palms with elbows comfortably nestled into your props. Or you can even lower this down further to support the belly, slide the bolster underneath the full chest. Try opening the hip by rolling onto the knife edge of the left foot. The right toes can remain tucked, or you can untuck the toes. And from here, relax the shoulders. Continue to take deep belly breaths in and softly breathe out. Moving back to your breath. Feel the love and the compassion supported down into your props. Breathe deep through the nose. Let it fill up the body with life. And slowly breathe out the mouth. And now, slowly begin to slide the hands back underneath the chest or the shoulders. Engage the core and press down into hands and rise to release from the pose. Slowly remove the padding from under the right knee and transfer it over to the left side. Back to table, then tuck toes for down dog. Inhale, lift right leg high and gently step the right foot to the outside of the right hand for your dragon pose on the opposite side. Finding balance here in the hips, find your variation, whether you wish to use elbows or forearms. You can roll the right knife edge of the foot to open the hip even more. You can also lie chest down. Send the breath in deep, breathing through the nose. And now soften on your exhalation. Continue to listen to your body. If you feel any pain in the right shoulder, you can always release the right arm, placing it on the outside of the right hip. You can also come out of the pose at any time and move on to backside for happy baby or supine figure 4. Stay connected to your breath. Allow all of the stress to release from the hips. Becoming mindful of the body will slowly prepare for a transition. On your inhalation breath, engage the core, pressing down into hands. Let's rise. Any counter poses that feel good in your body, please take those now. And we'll begin to prepare our space for our next pose. Floor frog. Taking 2 blocks, creating the bench for your bolster. Let's begin to walk the knees as wide as your bolster, turning the feet so the insoles face down, then lower to elbows and chest. You can explore the chin facing down as long as there's plenty of space to breathe, or you can turn either cheek down on your bolster. Feel free to shake out the hips or rock forwards and back. And if floor frog is too intense for you, you can take child's pose or tadpole by bringing the heels closer together to touch and your hips to sit back. Remain as you are here, or if you wish to have a deeper variation of frog, you can move the props aside, lowering carefully to elbows and forearms, stacking one fist and then the other to support the weight of the head, and allowing the low back to find a gentle release. Ground your energy and stay with your breath. Our final breath, inhale, slowly begin to stand back up onto hands and knees. Taking embryo is a nice counter pose. Allow the knees to squeeze gently together, the upper back to open, and fully let go. And let's slowly begin to rise, stacking the spine. Let's lengthen arms up overhead. Take a full stretch. Exhale, turning to the right. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, turning left side. And release back to tabletop. Keeping the knees together in table, let's tuck the toes under. Lifting the knees, pushing your hips to the sky for downward facing dog. Swan, let's inhale, left leg lifts high, bring the gaze forward. And gently bring the left knee behind the left wrist. Angle the shin so right foot is behind right wrist, squaring off the hips. Let's find a block to rest underneath left hip for extra support. And then with the second block, bring that underneath the third eye, gently lowering down to elbows so that you can support the weight of the chest and ground. Breath in, slowly rise. We'll add thread the needle to this pose. Taking the right shoulder, drawing it under the chest, resting it on a block to stretch the deltoid. Settle in, deep breath in, slow breath out. Chest or shoulder by pressing down. Slip the right arm free. Curling the right toes under, you can slide the knee back, stepping back into downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg high. Swan pose with the right leg forwards. Use props as needed to support the right hip and the weight of the head. Begin to calm the shoulders and breathe deep through the nose. Allow your body to settle down. Find stillness for a few minutes. If your body is uncomfortable or cannot take swan pose, gently move around to your backside and we'll take figure 4 on the backside, crossing right foot over the left thigh, Holding and supporting the left thigh, you can draw the legs in as close as you'd like to feel the sensation. We'll take our final 3 long breaths in and out. And now deeply exhale that last breath. Gently rise, pressing into the hands. Tuck the left toes, supporting yourself back to a downward facing dog, taking your time to get here. Let's separate the feet, walking them closer for ragdoll. Feel free to hold opposite elbow and allow the upper body to sway side by side. And slowly release the arms. Gently roll and rise to stand on your feet. Spread the toes and guide palms to unite at heart space. And fold once again to release. Walk yourself back forwards to the knees, and let's prepare our space as we move and transition onto our seat. Moving anything aside that might be in the way, take your legs out in front and slide your hips to the very center of your mat. Let's find your bolster, carefully placing it along the right side of your hip, aligning to the base of the knee, and using the upper body to help you roll all the way on to the back side as we prepare our body for supine twist. Let's guide both legs in first. Roll out your back, bringing knee side to side, or even take happy baby for a few rounds of breath, and then gently release your feet back to the earth. Draw the left knee in closer to the chest, and slowly roll the left leg over to place on the bolster. Stack the hips. You have the option to extend out the left arm, maybe placing a blanket or a prop underneath the left shoulder, or even the arm if it's floating. And now find stillness here in the twist. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Let it fill up and expand to the sides of the ribs, and slowly breathe out. Become aware that we are guiding and assisting your body through the digestive process with this twist. Deepen on your inhalation in, and let's slowly begin to release. Begin to roll both hips back flat onto the earth. Counter pose by drawing knees to belly space. And softly release the feet back to the earth. Pressing into your feet, find the bolster with the right hand and turn the bolster underneath your back pockets. Gently lower the hips down into supported bridge pose, or use the option to extend out the legs, allowing the front of the hips to open. Flatten the shoulder blades beneath you. Relax the hands. Release the hips, relax through the thighs, and take a deep breath in through the nose and And a slow breath out. Walking feet back towards the hips. Lengthen the legs up into the sky for legs up the wall pose. Feel free to shake out your legs or roll out the ankles. You can point and flex the toes. And slowly return your feet back to the earth. Pressing down into the feet, lift up the hips. Slide your bolster now to the left side of your mat and gently lower back down. Let's draw the left knee in as you slide the left leg straight, preparing the body for supine twist. Cross the right leg over to rest on the bolster. Feel free to tee out the right arm or use a prop underneath the right shoulder for support. And feel free to prop up the right wrist. Acknowledge any changes that might have occurred in your breath, and remind yourself to breathe deep through the nose. Allow the belly to expand, and softly breathe out the nose or the mouth. Allow the toxins that you are twisting out of the body to release on the exhalation breath. Let's slowly begin to transition now out of this pose, rolling onto backside. Let's guide the knees into the chest for when removing pose, a great counter pose for the twists. Rocking side to side, massaging out the low back. And gently release the feet down. Take a full body stretch by extending the arms overhead. Point the toes forwards. Deepen on your breath in. Exhale, explore some ankle rolls. And now slide your left and right heel as wide as the mat. Preparing now for banana pose. Let's take the right leg and slide it over to meet the left, and slowly shimmy the shoulders also to the left side of the mat. Finding this nice banana shape, we open up the right side body with breath. If the arms overhead is uncomfortable for you, rest them by the sides. Make any final adjustments that you need to get comfort in this pose, and we'll remain in this pose for an additional minute or so. Stay connected to deep breaths in and out. Softly slide your right heel away from the left foot. And then straightening out the spine, slide the shoulders also to the center line of the mat. Take a breath in. Settle in on your exhale. Maybe shaking out the legs, shimming the chest or the hips. And simply slide now left foot over to meet the right foot. Find your depth or your edge, maybe a little more to the right. And then now begin to shimmy the shoulders to the right side for your fullest banana shape. Explore reaching arms overhead if that feels nice for you. If not, let them remain by the sides of the hips. Feel the back of the hips and the back of the chest flatten on the earth beneath you. And now deepen the inhalation in and softly let the breath go. Preparing to transition, if your ankles were crossed, gently lift the left foot, slide it towards the center line of the mat, and now unwind the body, moving your spine also to the center. Let's walk the knees in, giving yourself a big hug or holding on to toes for happy baby. You can hold on to the calf muscles or the thighs. Let's rock softly side to side to release the side bodies and the back. And now release the feet back to the ground. Keeping the knees bent and the feet firmly planted, reach for a rolled blanket or bolster. Slowly turn to either side, rolling your prop underneath the body for a chest opener. Feel free to extend out the legs, or you can fold the feet in for supine butterfly. If the legs are extended, try separating the heels a little bit more to give your hips and your belly some space. As you settle into this pose, make any micro adjustments that are needed so that you can settle in and to open the space of the heart. Connect back with your breath. Relax the face and the jaw, and fully surrender into this pose. Together, let's take a deep breath in and expand, and let that go. Walking your heels towards the hips, roll to either side and release the prop beneath you. Slowly lift up to your seat as we prepare our space. Grabbing a block, bringing it to the front of the mat. And now with your bolster, let's angle it so it's resting onto your block. Angling down towards your body, turn to face the back of the mat and lower down. Ensuring that the low back has connection to the bolster. Feel free to tee out the arms. If you wish to bend the knees to release the low back, do that now. Moving into butterfly pose, holding on to 2 blocks, one on each side. Let's bring the soles of the feet to touch and turn the knees outwards. Adjust the blocks as needed to support the legs. Now deepen your breath. And surrender. your breath, the sensations in your body, and slowly begin to extend your legs forward. You can move the blocks aside or place left hand to chest, right hand to belly, or rest them by the sides. We move now to our final pose of our practice, shavasana. Start to settle in. Allow all of your energy to ground and allow the heart to open and to receive the goodness and the vibrations. Rest peacefully and namaste.